You're watching River City News.
Welcome back. School choice once again remains a hot button issue in the state of Texas, with Governor Abbott's education plan receiving mixed support from not just Democrats, but even some Republicans. Yesterday, chief political reporter Rudy Koski sat down with the governor in an exclusive sit-down interview.
Greg Abbott joins us now live to talk about that coming debate. Governor, thanks for being here with us. And we'll start off first that the House is serving up a somewhat of a blended plan between their plan and the Senate's plan on school choice. Includes cost caps, makes kids with disabilities and lower incomes a priority. Are you happy with how things are playing out right now?
So I am, Rudy, as you know, this is the first time in Texas history where the Texas House Committee on Public Education voted out a school choice plan. It's going to hit the House floor next week, and it's going to pass the Texas House of Representatives for the first time in Texas history. And there's a reason why, and that's because Texans across the state, whether you're black, white, Hispanic, or Asian, whether you're urban, suburban, or rural Texan, everybody in Texas says they want school choice. But know this, Rudy, and that is we can have school choice while at the same time fully funding education, giving our public school teachers an all-time record high in pay raises to make sure we're going to have the best public schools, we're going to have school choice options, and finally, we will be putting Texas on the pathway to be ranked #1 in the United States for educating our kids.
Let's talk about that education funding bill, HB 2. You have noted in several recent social media posting that the increase, and you just said it, historic pushing funding well over $15,000 per student. But critics claim that amount incorporates a lot of other funding sources, maintenance, salaries, things like that. You know, the basic allotment in this for students, the state is closer to, $1,600, $6,100 per student. So why not just end this dispute and just add a lot more money to HB 2?
Well, so we are adding more money to HB 2. Let's be clear, Rudy, because what you said kind of got convoluted. The fact of the matter is we're providing a record amount of funding per student. The basic allotment that you're talking about, all that does is confuse the public. So the public can understand that the basic allotment is a small percentage of the overall funding that goes to funding education. The total amount that goes to schools is more like about $15,000 or $16,000. One reason why we don't put too much money in the basic allotment is because administrators use that to grow administration. If you look at what's happened over the past decade, most of the expansion and spending in education has gone to administration. We need to cut administration. We need to fund what matters the most in education, and that is teachers. And we are going to fund the strategies that will increase pay to teachers so that we can attract the best educators in the country and then provide a great curriculum and provide a choice. And those three things combined will put Texas on the pathway to ranking #1 in educating our kids.
Governor, as it reads right now, this ESA program, school choice, if approved, will have to be reauthorized in the next session if I read it right. It reminds me of the Be On Time college loan program that has been limited in the past by budget restraints. Are you worried that a possible recession could make school choice a one-and-done idea?
So, Rudy, you got it wrong there a little bit. It's not going to be, quote, reauthorized. It is subject to having to be funded every session. That's the way the Texas budget works. Every item that we have in the entire budget has to be funded every session. We're prohibited to funding things into the future unless that is done by constitutional amendment. But what we expect to happen is we're going to provide the funding this session for about 100,000 students. And when that happens, two things will arise after that. One, there's going to be parents of 100,000 students who will enjoy this, and they will demand that be done. The other thing that's going to happen is that all these naysayers, all these critics, they're going to realize that all of the false narratives they try to create about school choice turned out not to be true, and that the devil behind the curtain about school choice simply does not exist, that school choice actually helps public schools do better, and as a result, everybody in the state is going to be in favor of continuing our strong support for public schools as well as supporting school choice.
Governor, in the last session, teacher pay and school funding were held up in order to force a vote on school choice. As we all know, that strategy just didn't work. Would you rather see the order flip-flop this time in the coming House debate and have lawmakers vote first on teacher pay, funding, then school choice in order to avoid some type of meltdown again?
So, Rudy, again, you're getting it wrong. The fact of the matter is the votes are there where we don't choose one or the other. If you go back to my State of the State address, I made two things at priorities as it concerned education. One was school choice. The other was teacher pay raises. As governor, I expect to achieve every emergency out of my list in my State of the State address. As a result, I know that there are enough votes in both the Texas Senate and Texas House to get to my desk an all-time record amount of pay for our teachers that we want to provide the best teacher pay raise to, at the same time ensuring we're going to pass school choice. We're going to have the best public schools, highly funded public schools, the best paid teachers, and the ability for parents to choose the education pathway that is best for their child.
All right, I got 3 wrongs. Hopefully that makes a right with the governor, at least with me in the future. Thanks, Governor, for talking to us about school choice.
You got it.
In that interview, the governor stated that it is possible to have both school choice and a fully funded public education system. State Representative Gina Hinosa of Austin sat down with us to provide the Democratic response to the governor's comments.
We are coming nowhere close to fully funding our schools. The governor, the speaker, the lieutenant governor like to throw out the term fully funded, but let's talk about what that really means. In Texas, we need another $4,000 per student just to reach national average in per student funding. Just to reach 2019 spending levels because of inflation, we need to increase the basic allotment or per student funding by $1,340. This equates to about $18 billion. The proposal before us today is about $8 billion. So a full $10 billion shy of what we'd need just to keep up with inflation. When you put a voucher in that budget, then you blow up school funding in perpetuity. And so, no, we are not fully funding schools. In fact, we are doing more harm than good.
Hinojosa went on to say that she believes it's in the best interest of the state to take the school choice plan to voters in the future election. Coming up, firework vendors are worried tariffs can cost their business thousands. We'll have more on that story and your national headlines when River City News returns.